Hello, everybody. Drew here for Drew Dad Entertainment and the Breaking Rocks podcast, episode number 20. Uh, this is going to be a heavy stream here, folks. Now, obviously, you see by the title, we're going to be talking about the Disney Star Wars Cruiser Hotel, whatever the fuck it's called. Also, going to be talking about one issue that I have with Elden Ring, as well as Brandon did his State of the Union address last night. We'll talk briefly about that and some of the bullshit that came out of his mouth, because evidently he was shitting out his mouth last night and not his ass for the first time. And a couple of topics I got connected to Ukraine and the Russia invasion. Couple of things that are directly related. Well, one thing directly related because of it, and one indirectly, but is centered around it just the same. But before I get into any of that, before I introduce, let me turn this up so anyone who comes in can actually hear you. Joining me is my co-host, the one and only Joshy064. Hello, my old friend.
Hello. Good afternoon. And hello, Chunk.
It's the first Wednesday of the month, and they're testing the tornado sirens again. How nice as we start the fucking stream. Fuck you, too. Anyway. Hey, Chunk. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we will be getting into some of what he was talking about last night, but as it is, as the thumbnail is and the title is, the Star Wars Star Cruiser, $6,000, depending on the day, apparently. Because like on Monday it might be $6,000, on Friday it might be $8,000 for the same fucking experience and room. Like most trips involving Disney, certain blackout days on other days are more expensive. But Joshy, you know more about this topic than me, so I'll let you play main host here for this one.
Alright, I'd like to give a shout out to Drunk 3 Yo, that Clownfish, TV, Mark Hoppin, and Paris. That's basically where I got all my information.
Can I just say quickly that it's a tradition in our community to just say shout out to Drunk 3PO. So it's good you started with that one. Yeah, but Cruiser. Yeah. Things Trunk Cruiser, yeah.
First, go ahead.
No,
Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the prices though? That's what Jay was talking about. He said that's what Clownfish and Jay was talking about. That they were thinking like basically $1,000 base price, and that's not going to be at peak hours as well. Like there's all that's going to be higher as well too.
Just want to say quickly from the chat, Chunk the Punk says, shout out to Drew's internet daddy. Drunk 3PO, yeah. Because my real dad is long dead. So hopefully this dad lasts a long time. Anyway. But you were saying.
Here, there's a lot of talk about though. There is rumors going around saying that there's a $20,000 a room.
Yeah.
Actually,
that turns out to be not true.
Yeah, because as of today, Clownfish TV Empires outlet the video in an article saying that they did talk to a cast member on the phone, and they said that they do not have a $20,000 room.
Yeah.
Also, what is it? Jay, he said that the guests that are actually paid for their service, they're also getting the data pad as well too. I think that is a plus. Though. Basically, you know how like Genie app for the fast pass that they pay for. Sometimes they can't log on and whatnot though. And some people will have problems and whatnot though. So, in my opinion, I think it's a good idea that they have their own iPad or whatnot though, or data pad, whatever you want to call it though, so that they can actually control it. Like they know the technology, like they know what they're doing. Like that's Disney has to know exactly how to do it though, so they basically kind of control like they're like having like a lag issue and like everything else, you know. That there's also the bills. From what I've been hearing, the bills aren't really that great.
Hmm.
Actually, haven't really heard much about the drinks though. But I've seen the drinks though for some of the drinks. It looks like there's like hardly any alcohol in there too. Like for $15 for like basically nothing.
Just want to quickly
Or
check with the chat. Can you guys hear Joshy? Fine. Just wanted to check in with you, Chunk, on that. If I have him turned up enough or not. But as it is, you were saying?
There's also box as well too. There's rumors saying that like some people that went into the box truck was it came from the hotel to Disney World, to, Batu, whatever. Some people get like the motion sickness. They have no windows in there at all, no screens showing that you're basically flying from ship to. Basically, it's just like an enclosed ship. They did a real nice job inside the truck, though, but still, it's just a box truck.
And
I guess from what
and the fact that they're loading you into a truck makes me feel like if I were to go into it, I'm like I feel like I paid $6,000 or whatever to feel like I'm being shipped off to a concentration camp.
No. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Jay did say that, or no, someone, I think it was Jay and basically Bishop did say that he had blueprints like these big old shuttle buses, but obviously they scrapped that and went for the cheap version. Though, it's like I guess I can get. I don't even know how many people they can get actually inside. If they're going to have that many people at the hotel, do they have like one truck or do they have multiple trucks? I wonder. Because they don't even say if they have multiple buses though, or multiple trucks or whatnot though. So if it's one truck, possibly they'll probably have like one truck. That basically, if they have one truck, that'd be like 15 people. That's going to be like a long ass trip. All right, whatever. But I don't know.
All of this to me sounds like getting kicked in the nuts for $6,000. So with that in mind, here's the joke. Fuck. So with that in mind, here's the joke that I was alluding to off camera for you, Joshy. If I had $6,000 and wanted to get kicked in the nuts, I would keep my $6,000 in the bank, go to a raging feminist rally or protest or riot or whatever they want to call it, walk up to a bunch of pink hair or purple hair people and simply say, which one of you cute little cupcakes wants to come home, cook me a meal, and give me a blowjob? I would have 50 people kicking me in the nuts, taking turns at that point for free. At that point, shout out to the soul who is no longer with us, George Carlin, for that joke, because I borrowed that from him and added my own little spin to it. We miss you, George Carlin, for sure. Chunk says in the chat, kicked in the nuts, lunch money stolen, pepper sprayed in face, and called an istphobe for not liking it. Welcome to the internet. Because that happens every day just for being on a particular platform. Just saying. Yes.
Yeah, one other thing I was going to remind
George was definitely the man. As Chunk was saying in the chat, George.
Well,
anyway,
I was just to bring up the point about the the mobility, people in the wheelchairs as well. The worst thing that some of the actual activities they're not going to be able to do because basically if they're in a wheelchair, I guess they didn't make it accessible for it though. Because I don't know, because saying that usually Disney is like very accessible wheelchairs and whatnot, but I guess for this experience, it's going to be kind of hard. For the public and stuff, it's going to be kind of hard for them to get around or whatnot. Though, like what I've seen in videos, there was one or two people in wheelchairs, but they were kind of like having a good time, I guess, and I don't know, but so far in the room, it's like the room, they got the small corridor or whatnot, though, it's going to be kind of hard to that. They can get inside, but if they have like a motorized scooter or whatnot, though, it's going to be a little bit harder. Have really disability for the motor scooter. Bad part of Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have made it more accessible, though. And also about the rooms too, I guess. From what people are saying, that the bunker is a windowless bunker, and also that like if you get like 3 people in there, it's really crowded and packed. You have like one seat for the rest of them, some toilets, basically all like a porta john or like an airplane bathroom.
Well, considering that it's Disney Star Wars, it's all one giant toilet. But I digress.
Yeah.
You're saying
even
though?
When you're spending like at least $6,000 for 2 nights, you get pull-out beds left and right. You only have like one bed, and from one person that I've seen, one reviewer that I saw, he said that those like little beds on the little bunk bed things, he said that's basically they don't even have springs in those mattresses. Basically, it's going to be a shitty ass mattress that you're laying on those, and all those stupid little pull-out beds look very uncomfortable. They have one bed, and then they have like 2, 3, 4, 5 whatever pull-out beds.
To recap something that Chunk is saying in the chat, and I'll go back to something that he previously said, but he just typed in, there's also that rumored $20,000 VIP room. That's actually just a rumor. It's not actually real, because that was reported on by Clownfish TV, as we said at the top earlier.
Clownfish broke that news this morning.
Yeah, and I did start watching that before we went live just a little bit.
I think the highest price hotel for a room would be like 15,000 possibly.
Something along those lines, but it depends on the day.
It's a captain's suite, though.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
They don't even have pictures of the stupid captain's suite. They got pictures of the 2 lower rooms, the main room, and they got the the one with the bar in it. They got videos of those rooms, but for like Captain Suite, I don't think anybody's been in there yet, unless they were saving that for people that
Considering that there's no pictures of the captain's room, I'm picturing a scene of Jackass, which is apparently a thing again. You open up a door after paying like $15,000, and there's like a wooden pole with like a boot on it that swings out and kicks you in the nuts. That's the captain's room. A $12,000 nut shot. But to go back to something that you said in the chat, Chunk, George, and then started singing in the chat, he's got a beautiful soul. Which George? Gary or Nerdrotics George or George Carlin had a beautiful soul, because in the early years, he had a beautiful soul. As a grumpy old man, no, he didn't really have a beautiful soul, but he made a lot of sense. he wasn't expressing them in the healthiest of ways, much like
Says either.
either. Yeah, fair enough. But as I said, George George Carlin in his later years wasn't expressing himself in the healthiest of ways, much like Bill Burr's father. But I digress. Yes, Chuck.
Also,
Yes, Chuck, you're a perfect angel. I know. But with
also,
what's that?
there's also those captain's chairs, well, too, that throw in the dining room.
Yeah, I think they're probably
Tugs,
toilets, so that way you don't have to go find a restroom after drinking the milk.
yeah, Tugs did a park up in video just recently. Went through all this article. It was like basically like 40-minute long video. Basically, she put on one article and basically they did a very detailed description of all the food. And basically, the captain's table, I believe you pay extra. You get one bottle of champagne to share between all of you.
well,
Toasters, well,
well, if you have X-Ray Girl and Tugs there, one bottle of wine isn't gonna be enough for the two of them. First of all, but to share with the table, could you imagine a table of X-Ray Girls and Tugs like four of them effectively? One bottle of wine isn't gonna be enough for even one Extra Girl and one Tugs, much less six of them. Just saying.
Yeah. They get a fancy menu. They get a deli wipe. They get a little bit of extra food as well too, but it's not too much so. But it's like, whoop you! Why would I do that shit?
That's another thing. I saw a picture of like the breakfast platter. It's like one tiny ass like pancake shaped weird thing, a sausage and something else. I'm like, that's fucking breakfast. That's a fucking snack in my house.
Yeah, like what I've seen for the food is just like like sample size. It's all like what they're saying is the breakfast and lunch are buffets. They do have to-go boxes, but that's all basically all your carbs, like breads and stuff like that. For dinner, it's more like a sit-down family dinner type, and you get to choose kind of though. But breakfast, it's a buffet, and the way they're doing it is kind of smart. From like what Tuss is saying, I think it's kind of smart too. They you put the food on certain dishes that way you can just get it go, which basically cuts down the line and basically is like makes it a little bit easier. I don't know. Sometimes the food can just sit there and be cold, so it's like, Either way, like either all the food there is kind of like sample size, and it's basically what is it, buffet style. So, if you don't like it, you just toss it and just go out back there and get some more food.
Well,
what I'm hearing,
I don't.
what is it?
I don't like any of this, so I want to toss the entire fucking topic soon. but you should wrap up what you're saying first.
Yeah, what else would I say though? There's also saying that was it like all the activities and whatnot though.
Mm-hmm.
You might get like 10 minutes to eat, kind of, because basically if you want to do all the activities though, it's basically like, okay, what Jay was trying to say was like with the data pad and whatnot though, if you don't like do like really any of the stuff activities on your data pad or whatnot though, you're basically gonna miss out the experience and not gonna give you your money. So it's like this stuff that's like on your data pad or whatever, like, oh, go do this, go do that, and do like everything else. It's more like a chore, and it's just like a stimulation, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like the more you do, the more yada 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 you get out of it, though. But still, it's just like you want to go on vacation. It's vacation. It's not like you want to go like this is a Star Cruise, just work.
Yeah. It sounds like you're describing the next topic that we're going to jump into right after this, right off the gate. Because it sounds like all you're going to want to do on vacation at this place is just tear your hair out.
Yeah.
Speaking of wanting to tear your hair out and a chore to fucking do, Elden Ring. Trying to play Elden Ring is a chore. There's no joy in it. It's soul crushing. Dark Souls reference. And it makes me want to shave my fucking head so I'm not tempted to rip my hair out of my skull. Honestly. Between the difficulty and the fact that it's an open world, so you want to go explore, but you see an enemy like coming towards you and like, no, I'm going the other fucking way. Which I know is not how you're supposed to play the game. You're supposed to like take down enemies but the problem is that when you save the game, everything fucking respawns over again. So it feels like you get fucking nowhere in it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Joshy and chat?
Yeah, I get that though. Like you go like go travel along like so far, like trying to find something. All of a sudden, there's like one enemy there. Okay, you think he's gonna be like pretty easy, or somebody kills you, then you have to go way back to yonder or whatnot. Go start over again. Like, what the hell?
But as Chunk is saying in the chat, get good, brah. I understand that, and I agree with that. You're just teasing. I know that, but I do agree with that. But the problem is that having that difficulty, a Souls difficulty in the type of game that Elden Ring is trying to be, it does not work well with an open world action adventure type of situation. If that makes any sense. It's one thing if it's a classic Souls game, fine. That's exactly where it should be. Not in an action adventure RPG, because it feels like you're never getting anything done. Because if you've watched my streams, all I've done was find glowing skulls, go level up. Have a good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed me doing absolutely fucking nothing for 2 hours. Because I didn't. But yeah, overall, the environment, the character model, everything working together, if you ignore the difficulty for a minute, it's a game of the year for sure. The problem is that a lot of people aren't going to really do anything in it because it's so crushingly fucking difficult. And also, I was playing it off stream like just the other day. I saw a dragon for the first time. I've been like, no, fuck this. I'm going the other way. And then today I saw Az trying to fight the dragon. I think he just won it on his 5th or 6th attempt at facing it by the time I saw the stream. And he got it to like 1/3 of the health left finally. And then he died. And he was like, fuck this shit. That's exactly how I feel. But anything you want to add, Josh?
I've seen a picture roaming around Twitter that showed that some people pretty it was PlayStation 5. He already returned his game. It was basically $5 off, and some guys like something like, oh, he was having trouble with that tree or something like that, whatever boss that is. So I don't know, but so like some people are getting fed up with the game and they are returning it though.
Yeah,
one picture I've seen though. But
well, I own it digitally, so there's no returning it. Not unless Microsoft decides that they are offering refunds, no question asked, much like Cyberpunk, which I don't expect that because this thing is not a buggy mess. In fact, it's one of the cleanest games with bugs that I think I've seen in a long time. At least in my personal experience on the Series S anyway. But as it is, it's for me, Elden Ring is the gaming equivalent of working in the retail industry. It's a chore. You fucking hate it to a degree, depending on what you're doing while you're at the store, and you cannot wait to get back home again. In my case, I can't wait to get back to Forbidden West again after playing Elden Ring. Just saying. Because here's another problem that I have. It feels like Elden Ring is hinging too much on its difficulty to the point where you feel like you have to have someone to play it with online in order to get fucking anywhere with it. And that's a problem because you're supposed to also be able to play it as a single player game. It's not really possible in its current state with its difficulty, which the guy behind it has said, we're known for our soul crushing difficulty. That's never going to change. I know, I get that, and I agree with that. But the problem is that it's not working well with the type of game that this game is trying to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Chunk says in the chat, Gotti, but I want a refund. LOL. Yeah. Well, the problem is it is scoring to be a nominee for Game of the Year. So, yeah. So it's a well-crafted, well-made game. The problem is that you have two things working together that are mixing like oil and water together. They do not mix. You see the clumps of oil in the water and exactly where they are. That's exactly the situation. It's oil trying to mix with water, and they don't mix at all. But it is what it is. Speaking of things that don't mix.
Another thing I want to bring up about.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Just another thing I want to bring up about Disney, though.
What's that?
There's a video going around that's pretty sad. It shows a little kid running to Pooh Bear, and then the stupid cast member's like, no, you can't hug the.
I saw that.
Cast member, yeah. Just like if you pay $6,000, you're able to do anything. All the stupid like Black Star Cruiser. At the time they have masks on, unless they want to wear masks in the hotel. It's just that they have masks while they're getting transferred. But still, like you get pictures of the characters. The characters even tough that though. Like I've seen video, basically the cast members, Chewbacca, something. What is the like Jedi's training or whatnot though. They even touch you or whatnot though. Like they even touch you. You can take pictures with them though, and also they have this option that they pay like $100 to $400 to get like certain shots in the Star Cruiser. But you can take pictures with Chewie, get around everybody and whatnot though. But still, that's like over at the stupid us people that barely can even make it. Pay for Disneyland, Disney World, and can't even touch their damn favorite characters. They're behind like a bar or whatnot.
This makes me think of one last thing about the Disney Star Hotel, whatever the fuck it is. For $6,000 or more dollars, I had better have someone in my fucking bed to fuck me every night for that fucking price.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention too, they have that little robot, that little droid that you press on the button that talks. Basically, people are saying that like, I guess sometimes people be talking, I guess that stupid thing like turns on and starts talking and whatnot. I guess like trying to listen or whatnot. So there's that. Well, too in your room.
Yeah.
Because they say that she's part of the damn experience too. Like you press the button, yes, is it generic question? Basically, people are like, oh, I want to go on an adventure. Oh, okay. Basically the same thing. It's not like a real AI or whatnot, though. It's just like 3D recorded things with the video. And basically, I don't know, like it's like they hear them or whatnot, though. But just saying, if you do have a good time in there, they're probably listening in.
So, speaking of the Disney equivalent of politics in America, Brandon's State of Live speech was last night. I mean, State of the Union speech last night before a session of Congress. The whole time I spent, the first half of the speech was about Ukraine and the Russia business. And that is what it is. I'll get a little into that in just a little bit with a couple notes I have on a sticky note here about a couple things connected to that. But the second half of the speech, I felt like I was playing Elden Ring. I wanted to rip my hair out. Because unlike with Elden Ring, it's not one giant lie, it's one lie. Because in the case with Elden Ring, we were led to believe that it's Skyrim meets Dark Souls. Not really. Skyrim meeting Dark Souls would mean that you could go somewhere and do something, but on the other side of this coin here, I watched it all last night into this morning in the wee hours of the morning, and I left watching it going, I wish I had alcohol in the house, and I felt like all I heard was nothing but one lie after another. Each letter of every word was one fucking lie after another. Because there's no way that Brandon is going to try to secure the borders, like he said. Hasn't done it yet. Wants to put America first with buy American products first. You don't give a shit about this country, pal. You've proven that the entire fucking year that you've been in office.
Yeah, he doesn't even tell the truth. It's like basically he says like one thing, and then basically he goes off with the other thing. It's like, oh, we never said that. Shit, that's bullshit, dude.
The only great part about this speech last night was even AOC was going, yeah, this was not a good speech. He didn't go far enough. And we're also hating it because we don't believe a damn thing that was said. So even his own supporters are going, yeah, this wasn't good. But for completely different reasons.
Yep. So what was up with damn Nancy Pelosi? I guess she was probably drunk again. But she
either that or she was the wettest for Biden's just Biden being that close to her since the Civil War.
And the whole thing with like her like getting up and like rub her hands together. It's like, what the hell? Is she all happy? It's like, the hell?
And then there was also a guy sitting in the aisle, not allowed to sit in a chair. I was confused as fuck by that. And I brought you that up to you last night when I was trying to watch some of it, because I didn't watch it live because I was sleeping, thankfully, instead of trying to watch it live so I could fast forward through shit. Instead of trying to, well, no, actually that's a lie. I could fast forward it because I was watching a live feed of a pre-recording of it, so never mind. I forgot about that. But
I only watched a little bit of clips. I didn't really watch.
And it all made me think at the end of like, this administration is the political equivalent of Disney with Star Wars. The parallels are uncanny because look at what's going on. You had Disney who bought Star Wars, and what did they do? They immediately ran it into the ground. Day one of this administration, what did they do? They closed the oil pipeline that Trump had like greenlit because it was something that Trump did. It's racist. Right?
Yeah.
But I digress here. As I so often do when I start getting into politics and whatnot, I start, much like Desert Nord, who, by the way, is not with us because he's in the hospital again, but it is what it is, folks. But, yeah. Can you tell that Desert Nord and I are brothers? Because once I get into politics, it's hard for me to get back out again, much like Desert Nord. And much like him, the best thing you could do is just get the fuck out of the way at that point. Because at that point, it's like an A train going through. Get off the tracks because this ain't stopping. But speaking of trying to hit the brakes or pump the brakes here if you will. Uh,
Exactly.
Chunk in the chat. I couldn't help but notice Kamala, Ding Dong, and
Yeah.
Yahtzee,
That's, yeah.
Yahtzee Pelosi. That's good. Over his shoulders, but it's two devils instead of one and an angel, pulling his strings like a fucking puppet. I had another question. Who was constantly pulling Pelosi's string to make her pop up that fast before she was supposed to? Just saying.
Also,
But
one other thing
what's
was
that?
that there was that thing with Kamala Harris the other day, not like with the speech last night though, but basically the way she was explaining to people, like I guess someone was saying like, explain to us the war, the what's happening overseas in layman's terms, and she's like, oh, this country's bigger, and that country's smaller, and that country what. So basically, kind of a bunch of like little kids were stupid or something.
Yeah. But speaking of Russia and the Ukraine, though, for just a minute here, a lot of news outlets and a lot of other people are talking about like missiles and civilian buildings getting hit and whatnot. But I want to take a different approach to this because a couple of things came across my desk in the wee hours of the morning this morning. And I got a couple of things that you're not going to hear about anywhere else when it comes to the Russia and the Ukraine situation. Now, with that in mind, uh, the Russia and the Ukraine thing is actually affecting the gaming industry. Now, I know what you, Joshy, and what the chat are going to say. How is that possible, right?
Yeah.
Well, evidently, there is a game development studio basically based in the Ukraine. And from the information that I've been given, it's the development studio that's working on Stalker 2, which is due to come out on December 7th. Ironically, is also Pearl Harbor Day this year. Well, it's Pearl Harbor Day every year, but still. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of the people that work at the studio on this game live in the Ukraine and work there on the game. So my thought is not only with the people and the family of those working on the game that live in Ukraine, and my heart goes out to them, but is also at the same time, what does this mean for Stalker 2 going forward? Does this mean that it's going to get delayed from December 7th and out of this year to a new year? Or is it going to get moved up to try to avoid a bunch of bullshit from Russia at this point? What does this mean for Stalker 2 then? And what is this and what does this mean for the studio that's making it? Those are questions that you're not going to hear from any other game journalist or anyone else talking about Ukraine and Russia here. Yes, I know that it's not affecting the entire industry as a whole. It's affecting just one studio, but it's one studio in the gaming industry. So to a small degree, it is affecting the game industry, but very isolatedly, though, is what I'm saying, though, Chunk. Does that make sense to everybody? But also, the other thing that I have that's related to this from another studio. Now, I don't know if they are based out of Ukraine or not, but are you guys familiar with 11-bit studios?
No.
Have you heard of the game of This War of Mine? well, it's an indie game that came out like some years back, and I have it for PlayStation because it was in PlayStation Plus at one point. But 11-Bit Studios has recently announced that a percentage of game sales that they get going forward for the game and all DLC for this War of Mine, a percentage of that will be going to funds that will be sent to the Ukraine, to the people of Ukraine, for them defending themselves against Russia. So shout out to 11-Bit Studios for supporting the people of Ukraine in this manner. So with that in mind, let me just take a quick look at the Xbox Live store for this game because I'm curious as to how much it's being sold for. I don't have any money to spare to buy any games right now, but when I do, I'm going to look into this myself. So, okay, the full title is This War of Mine, the Little Ones. And it's currently being sold on Xbox Live for $19.99, so it's only $20, folks.
Is this War of Mine, right?
Yes. And I have played it on PlayStation previously, so because it was in PlayStation Plus, right around the time when I started doing the online stuff on PlayStation, when I first got my PS4 back in 2016. So this game has been out for quite some time. But still, that was something else connected to the situation with Ukraine and Russia that this game developer 11-Bit Studios is doing this. So
I'm looking at the game right now. It seems familiar, but I think there was a zombie game that looked exactly the same. That was exactly the same concept.
fair.
It's weird. I don't know. It was the same art style, like exactly the same game. Like it was basically a zombie game, I believe, but I don't know.
Either way,
Same.
yeah. Like I said,
Yeah,
as soon as I'm able to, well, I already have it through PlayStation Plus. I might try to stream that on YouTube at some point, but we'll see. But as it is, once I have money to spare for like just like randomly buying like a cheap game at the moment, because I'm kind of strapped for cash at the moment and what have you because of bills and whatnot. But as soon as I'm able to, I might even buy it on Xbox and just play it on Twitch. We'll see. But as it is right now, I think that's all I had in mind for today, for the stream. Do you have anything else, Joshy, that you want to rant or bring up in the stream?
Actually, think about it. No. Honestly.
All right, fair enough. So with that in mind, what are your...
Actually, one other thing. Yeah.
What's that?
Sorry, one that I just
No, it's
popped in
fine.
my head. The
Okay. We could talk about that.
Thanks for I saw his review on it though, spoiler free. I'm not gonna say. Well, I haven't seen it yet though, but he went to theaters though. But from what he's saying, those two, yeah, there's from what he was saying that they race swapped a couple characters, the Catwoman, the mayor, and I think don't quote me on this. I think Gordon. I think he used race swap all two. It didn't mean like they didn't need to do the race swap as well too.
Yeah.
And then also the other thing as well too, the actress who plays Catwoman did bring out an article and explain that her character is bisexual, like virtual speaker. But from what Ryan Kendall was saying, that the movie is pretty good. Basically, you're on the edge of your seat the whole way through. So I'm kind of interested in watching it though now, since basically where I got my reviews from is basically Ryan Kennel and Geeks and Gamers.
The only thing I saw from it was stuff or 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 for anyone watching this later who's not familiar with stuff, also known as My Nerdy Home on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. She posted a picture of her standing next to the sign, but she typed out above it was she really had a good time with this movie. So take that for what it's worth. That Steph liked it too. So.
Yeah.
And I usually trust the
That's all I
opinion of Steph and Ryan when it comes to entertainment. Mostly when it comes to stuff, when it comes to entertainment. But it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah.
So with
That's all they got.
that in mind, yeah. What are you gonna be up to after this?
I don't know.
And anything?
I might stream today or I might stream tomorrow though. I don't know. Do like 2 hours of Cyberpunk. So I don't know. I might do 2 hours today, maybe. Depends on my schedule tonight. So if I'm doing Cyberpunk, probably 2 to 4 hours. So far, in my opinion, playing the Cyberpunk, 2 hours is not even enough time to sit down and run for one playthrough. So
Yeah.
usually when I've been streaming earlier with Cyberpunk,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing like 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Streaming it though. Either today, tomorrow, I'll be streaming Cyberpunk.
In my case, right after this, I'm going to make something to eat. And after I've eaten for the final time today, because I've been up since like 6 o'clock in the evening last night. So, or was it 7 or 8? I can't remember at this point. I'm just lucky that I remembered that we were doing this at this point. But after I eat, I will attempt to, if the servers are working together for between Google and PlayStation, at this point, I'm going to try to play some Horizon Forbidden West on Drew Dat Games on YouTube after I eat. And if that's not working, then I will do a stream on Twitch, on my Twitch channel of God knows what. If I feel like trying to pull my hair out live on Twitch, I'll play Elden Ring. If let me see something here. If not, I may try to play something from my backlog, a game called Maneater. If the servers are not working and the stream isn't staying up on YouTube of playing Horizon Forbidden West, then I'll play Maneater on Twitch instead. So that's going to be my plans. In terms of what I watch after like anything while I'm eating, I'm just going to check out YouTube and see what's going on there and just watch random shit while I eat. So as it stands, chances are probably, it's just going to be random shit that I find. So, which is generally how it goes half the time anyway. And if I'm familiar with the person that pops up like in the recommendations, and I'll go, that looks interesting. What's going on with this type of situation? But as it is, thank you, Chunk the Punk, for being here live in the chat. I appreciate you as always, brother. Oh, and obviously thank you, Joshy, for being here as obviously the stand-in for Desert Nord. Yeah, well, as I've said off camera, I see you as my unofficial adopted brother. So, and as I said to Desert Nord, unofficially adopt Joshy as my older brother. Tell no one. Which apparently includes Mom. So, that reminds me of a scene from Jim Carrey's The Grinch. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Solve world hunger, tell no one. Type of thing. But as it is. Thank you to everyone who will watch this after the fact. Please hit the like, subscribe. Go subscribe to Joshy064 on YouTube because he has a YouTube channel as well. He doesn't do much with it, but it's there. Go follow Joshy over on Twitch. How many followers do you have now over there?
Let me check. Let me pull up my Twitch.
While he's doing that, don't forget to follow Drew.Games over on Twitch. The channel is monetized. All thanks to all of you guys that follow. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to go subscribe to Drew.Games on YouTube to see me playing Horizon Forbidden West if the stream stays up.
I just got 39 so far.
You so 11 away from being able to apply for monetization. So also a shout out to Electrifying Gaming. He is Drew.Games approved, which, as TD Deadpool said on Twitter, I'm TD Deadpool approved for whatever that means. But thank you, TD, for your vote of confidence. Electrifying Gaming has like 25 followers on Twitch. Let's get him to 50 and get him monetized as well. So yeah, that's Electrifying Gaming with an underscore between Electrifying and Gaming over on Twitch. He also has a YouTube channel, so go subscribe to him over here on YouTube as well. And I can't remember if he's on Twitter or not. Either way. The important parts are to follow him on Twitch and on YouTube. So with that in mind, guys, I will see you guys in a little while after I eat. Don't know how long that's going to take, but I know that I don't want to be going live after 3 o'clock because, like I said, I've been up for a long fucking time. So that means that I'm not going to stream for any longer than 2 hours on whatever stream I do, on whichever platform. But as it is, the current intention is on Drew.Games on YouTube for Forbidden West, as it currently stands. But with that in mind, I will see you guys in a little while. Have yourself a great rest of your afternoon until I see you again soon. And with that, we are out. Fuck Naughty Dog. Railers are weird. Welcome to the rebellion. Fuck Brandon. It sounds like opposite sides here. I said fuck Brandon, and you're saying let's go Brandon. Fuck Disney Star Wars. I feel like quoting George Carlin here. And fuck everything now that I think of it. And fuck everything. We will see you guys. I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye for now.
Yeah.